Another type of division is what we call synthetic division. And this is still of polynomials. Most of the time, a lot of people choose this method instead of long division. They think it's easier because you're not dealing with letters. So for instance, if I were to have 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 1x plus 6 divided by x minus 3. Here's how this works. We are just dealing with the coefficients in front of our variables, which makes it a lot easier. To start off with, we're going to work with, when we're dividing, this is going to be a 1 here. When we have a number that's different, I'll tell you what we go from there. So what we do is we take the opposite of this number. So it's going to be a positive 3 now. This is the tricky part a lot of people don't remember, is that you got to go opposite. So I put this 3 off to the side here on the left, and then I write out the coefficients. Like long division, you need it to go x cubed, x squared, x to the first, no x. It needs to go in descending order. So if you don't have a term, you need to put in a 0. In this case, though, we have all 4 terms, so it's no big deal. So we've got 6, negative 19, 1, and 6. So here's what you do. The first thing you want to do is you want to drop down this 6. You always drop down whatever the first term is. So from here, you take 3 times 6 and put that number here. So I've got 3 times 6 gives me 18. I add these numbers. This is where it's a little bit different. Normally when you think of division, we subtract. In this case with synthetic, you add. So negative 19 plus 18 gives me negative 1. So now I do the same thing. I just keep repeating this pattern. So now I've got 3 times 1 here to give me negative 3. I add those together. 1 plus negative 3 gives me negative 2. Again, I repeat this pattern. 3 times negative 2 gives me negative 6. I add these and I'm left with remainder 0. Therefore, okay, so I've got the 6, negative 1, negative 2, but what does this mean? So when we're dividing, we drop down a degree. So this leaves us with 6x squared minus 1x minus 2 as my final answer. We do not have a remainder, so that's good. So when we take 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 1x plus 6, and we divide it by 1x minus 3, our final answer is that 6x squared minus 1x minus 2. So like I said, a lot of people like this method better. The reason why is A, you get rid of the letters. B, there isn't that distribution and making sure that you distribute to both terms. And it's just a lot easier to work with when you're dealing with just numbers. But there are times when you might have a number in front of that x when we're doing our division, and it gets a little tricky. So let's say that I have 4x to the 4th minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 4 divided by 2x minus 1. Okay, so with this being said, the biggest thing is we know it's going to be a positive on this outside, but we need to know what number it is. So when you're finding this number here is the 0/root. So what that means is this 2x minus 1, when does it equal 0? Because that's what that number will be. So we've got 2x equals 1, x therefore equals 1/2. That number is then over here. So we got a positive 1/2 there. Now I'm going to go ahead and write out my coefficients. Notice it's x to the fourth x squared. So I've got 4, 0, negative 5, 2, 4. Again, I need it to go x to the fourth, x cubed, x squared, x, no x. I don't have a x cubed, so that's why it goes as 0. I drop down my 4. I'm not going to show all that pattern stuff. I mean, I'll do it once, but I think it gets a little bit redundant here. So we've got 4 times a half is going to give us this number here. 4 times a half gives us 2. We're going to add these together. We get a positive 2 there. Okay, I think maybe I can't erase the highlighter. Never mind. Which is fine. We'll just leave it. A half times 2 will go here. Well, a half times 2 gives me 1. I need to add these. Negative 5 plus 1 gives me negative 4. A half times negative 4 gives me negative 2. Well, when I add these, I get 0. Looks like I'm going to have a remainder, which is okay. You guys need to know what we do with that anyway. A half times 0 goes up here, which gives me 0. Add these together and I get a remainder of 4. So when I have that 4x to the fourth minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 4 divided by 2x minus 1, my final answer is 4x cubed. Again, remember we dropped down a degree. And the reason why we drop down a degree is because this is x to the first. X to the fourth divided by x to the first gives us that x cubed. So we got 4x cubed plus 2x squared minus 4x. We don't have a plus 0, but then we've got the remainder. So we go with plus 4 over that 2x minus 1. Just so that you guys can get used to, oh, no. Sorry, this was my fault. I totally forgot about this. I lied. So because we have that 1/2, you need to divide all of these numbers by 2. Okay, I forgot about that. I'm sorry, that's my fault. So we've got realistically, and I shouldn't say divided by 2. You take it times a half. So this is really 2, 1, negative 2, 0. You will have the 4 though as the remainder. So you just leave it as a regular 4. That one doesn't get divided. The reason being is because you've got this 2x minus 1. And so when you have that there, you're going to have to, you've already taken the care of the root when you took it as 1/2. So you've got to reduce everything else. But because the remainder is left over that 2x minus 1, that's why you don't need to reduce that. So we've got 2x cubed plus 1x squared minus 2x plus 4 over that 2x minus 1. I am sorry, that is my fault. I forgot about that, but good thing I caught it before letting you loose. So anyway, repeat that pattern. Again, the pattern's still the same. You're finding the root, which we find here. It's a negative here, so it goes to a positive. We drop whatever the first term is down. We multiply to get the next term here. We have our remainder. If this is a fraction, you got to take this fraction and multiply it to each one of your terms except for the remainder, which then will give you your final answer.